guys, it's Sierra, your host,
Hi, it's Joanna, your co-host.
and you're listening to the Color of Home podcast.
Hi, Sierra. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Good. What's new with you?
Not too much, besides the fact that we got a new little puppy. So, yeah, she's been keeping
What?
us on our toes. She's down here next to me. So, if you
Yay.
hear her little bell
Congrats.
clinking, here, I'll pick her up and show you. Well, she might
No,
not go
she's
back down if I
resting.
pick her
Yeah, I was
up.
like,
Might not stay put if I do that. But yeah,
oh,
no, she's been so fun. My boys absolutely love her to death.
this is
So
Luca's
yeah.
birthday gift.
It was Ezra's, but to be
Oh,
honest,
I see.
Luca's the one that's like the most excited because he's a little bit older, so he kind of understands a little more. But
Right.
yeah, he's so
Yeah.
happy to finally have a little puppy. So she's like falling
Oh.
off her bed.
Oh,
So
that's
cute.
amazing.
Yeah, what
Oh.
about you? What's been going on in life?
Me? I've been studying for finals or a midterm, so
Mm,
that's been a little bit stressful, but
yeah,
like good.
yeah,
Yeah, so I don't really have the summer off. I do, but I don't. Like
yeah, right.
work,
School
but
and
no.
work. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
busy.
but it's
Hmm.
going good. Um, yeah,
Good.
and my friend was here for a week, and so
Oh,
she
I
made
saw that on
flashcards
Facebook.
for. Yeah, she made flashcards for me and stuff. So I've been
Aw, so sweet.
practicing all my flashcards. Yay!
Girl, flashcards were the only way I got through high school. Like, if it were not for flashcards, I don't think I
Seriously,
could have made it through.
the funniest thing with flashcards is that like I find that like I just have my own little ways of like remembering what like I'm supposed to
Mhm.
memorize. Like it's like, oh yeah, this means this because of this, and it's like you just come up with the most random acronym for the
Yeah,
abbreviations, and you're like, no one
yeah,
else would understand this but
yeah,
me.
except for you. I don't think I have like a photographic memory, if that's what it's called, but like
Yeah,
I do remember like when I see the sentence, I can see the sentence in my head. But I don't like see
yeah,
pictures or objects or things like that. I can
no,
just see like the
oh, okay,
sentence structure. And so then
yeah.
that's what helps me remember like, okay, that was on the back of this card. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
weird, but
remember how I wrote the card. I was like, oh, that's the card that I
hmm.
messed up and I crossed out and then
Yeah, exactly. Do you remember what's, yeah.
Yeah, you won't even know how to I don't even know how to pronounce half these medical terms. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't
girl.
think I'm saying them right, but
You got
whatever.
this. Okay, well, the puppy's gonna be with me. Okay.
Aww.
The puppy has
That's
now joined
cute.
the conversation.
Aw, she's so
We've only
cute.
had her for like not even 24 hours, so she's
Oh
kind
my
of
word.
still like
How old is
scared.
she?
She's 9 weeks, so
Oh,
just over 2 months, yeah.
is that as big as she's gonna get or she's gonna
No, she's a Newfoundland poodle mix. A Newfie poo is what they call them. But
Yeah.
Newfoundlands are like massive, so she's gonna get probably like 70 to 100 pounds. Like she's gonna get big.
Oh,
I was reading
that's
that
yeah.
Newfie poos were bred for like water rescue for the Coast Guard, and so
Mm.
they're like really good swimmers and like rescue
Yeah,
dogs. And
Newfoundland is on the coast of Canada, so that's
that's
valid.
crazy.
Aw, she's so cute.
She's my little baby. Not have any more babies, so I had to get a fur baby.
That's
But
crazy.
anyways, Joanna, what are we gonna be talking about today? What's our topic?
Yeah, so our topic today is a little bit of a controversial topic, but like it's just something that Sierra and I feel like is dear to our heart and an experience that we've experienced. So we're gonna be talking about just like how we grew up and just kind of like the a little bit about the modesty culture that we grew up in and a little bit about body image as women. This might be more topic geared towards women, but I think it's a topic that's gonna be also helpful for guys to understand, especially those who have maybe like are married to TCKs or like
Mm,
pastors' kids or whatever. So like there is
yeah.
just yeah, so it's a tough topic to talk about, but it's something that like because we don't want to offend anybody, but we also know it's like something that is part of who Sierra and I are, and like we kind of want to, just talk about that. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not trying to like bash by any means any leadership or like our school or anything like that. But there are elements that like we have like some trauma in some areas, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, that's affected our lives today. So I think it's important that we talk about it and not shy away from it. But we're going to do it in the most respectful way possible. So,
Yeah, so a little bit of our background. My parents worked overseas in Papua New Guinea as missionaries, and so we met over there. And kind of how we met was like we went to the same school, and yeah, we were in the same country. So a little bit of, I guess, a little background about the culture of Papua New Guinea. They have over 8,000 languages, I think, they speak. It could be more now or less, I don't know. But yeah, and so missionaries go in, they learn the different languages, and some are in support roles and some are in tribal locations. And yeah, and then us kids ended up being like in school together, like a international mission school. So, a lot of how we grew up is we, as missionary kids, we respected the culture. We tried to blend in. Like, we weren't there to change the culture or the people or anything like that. We were there to bring them Jesus, and like my parents helped with medical work and other I guess needs that the mission needed and stuff. So yeah. And could you explain, Sierra, maybe like, I know your parents went through like culture school. Do you remember like that whole process of them going through like language learning and like learning the culture of Papua New Guinea?
yeah, oh my goodness, it's been so long ago. Like, I hardly remember. But yeah, I
Yeah.
just remember them coming home and like, we just try to fit in as much as possible. And I remember my dad, like, one of the first things he had tried to make for us was powdered
Yeah.
sugar. And he had brought home these flour balls, like, they're the scones, like deep fried bread. And like, they didn't really have a lot of salt, so they weren't super good. So my dad's like, oh, like, I'll turn these into donuts for my girls and we'll have this like amazing breakfast. We made powdered sugar, and I don't know if he knew how to do it properly because it was so like, it tastes like baking soda or something on top of these flour balls. It was awful. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. But yeah, those are just some like early memories of like remembering the culture and like just trying to blend in and going to like your first moo and like, which is like a big feast that they have for you. And so like they dig a hole in the ground and they do like pig and vegetables. They cook it, put banana leaves on top, and they cook it in the ground. But yeah, so like there's a bunch of different things that I just remember like experiencing for the
Do
first
you
time.
remember your first Mary blouse? I guess for those of you who don't know, a Mary blouse is like a traditional, kind of like a big oversized shirt, that flowy shirt, kind of like a moo.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
don't
it
know
is.
how to describe it, and it's like
And
was
like
just,
bright floral patterns.
yeah, all these crazy beautiful patterns, and like we would wear
Yeah.
these, and it because it was like part of the culture. It's like a
Hmm.
Melanesian culture. Yeah, so the Pacific Islands, a lot of like floral patterns. Like if you think of Hawaii, or like not Hawaii, Fiji, just a lot
Hmm.
of prints and stuff. So we
Yeah.
got to wear a lot of like mare blouse and like laps, which are like kind of like the wraparound scarf that you wear as a skirt.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I do remember having to wear those like I'm telling you, those Mary blouses came to your knees sometimes. They were so
Yeah, they were
long.
and so baggy, like flowy. Like when you put one on, you had like no shape whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like it was just there. But yeah, they were super like breezy though. Like they were nice to
So
wear like when it was
breathable, so
hot
breathable.
because yeah, they were really breathable. But
Yeah, like we would wear pants underneath of them, right? Like we'd have like jean
yeah, I used
shorts
to,
and then like
yeah.
a sports bra and then these baggy baggy
Hmm.
shirts.
Pretty
So,
much you couldn't show any shape of your body. It
yeah.
was all covered. But yeah, I don't know if I remember my first Mary Blouse specifically, but I definitely
Yeah.
remember wearing them more so like in the Sepik region. Like I don't remember
Yeah.
wearing them quite as much like up in the highlands, but like down by like
Yeah.
the ocean and all of that, like the more tropical
Mhm.
areas, like wore them all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I grew up just wearing them because, like, I mean,
Mm.
in my tribe, that was just like a common outfit for like the women to wear. So, like, as missionaries, you
Yeah.
just wanted to blend in with the culture. And sometimes you were gifted them as gifts and presents from the
Mm.
locals. So, yeah, it was very sweet of them and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think in the CPIC, I just like wore them all the time because all my friends had them, right? And then, like, I think I
Yes.
struggled more in the islands region when we were at school because it was a cooler climate, and then like basically our rules were like if you went off base they would encourage you to dress more like the locals and try to fit in. So
Yeah. And I think I still have some of my Mary blouses because I'm like, I
I
want to go
have
back and
one.
visit one day, so I need to keep full of these.
Girl, I've not touched that thing since I left. I don't think I might have worn
Really?
it
Yeah.
once in Bible school for some
Oh.
cultural thing, but like I have
Mm-hmm.
not worn it. I'm like,
Yeah, me
it's
either.
in
I
the
haven't
back
touched
of my
mine.
closet. Like, oh my word. And I can't get rid of it. I know it's like I
Yeah.
can't get rid of it too.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
traumatizing because
memories.
I'm like it's memories, but it's also like traumatizing just being like I had no there was no fashion sense. You were just
Yeah.
that's what you had to wear. You had no choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean as a teenager, it just felt like, oh, I want to be pretty. I want to like, you
Yeah,
know.
right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yes, on our base though, it was like you could kind of wear like Western clothes, like a t-shirt or some jeans, but there were definitely like some stipulations to that as well. Some rules that came along with that. So yeah, Joanna, do you just want to kind of give like a description of our school and like what that looked like? Because not everyone knows like
Sure.
how we grew up or like what school looked like for us over there.
Sure. Our school was an international school, basically. So we had teachers who were also like missionaries or like, what would they call them? They would come for like a year, just kind of like
Like
try it out, or
associates?
associates. Yeah.
Associate,
So they
yeah.
would, yeah. So we'd have teachers that would literally just volunteer their time. They're not getting paid at all, and they would
Mm-hmm.
teach the missionary kids. So we had an elementary section that was like kindergarten to grade 6, and then we had like a junior high, middle school, which was kind of like lumped into all of high school. And then we had like science teachers, math teachers, and like we had like a school bell, and you just would change classes. And like, yeah, so that was kind of like how we grew up, where we had just different teachers that like sacrificed like their time in their lives just to like go and
Mm-hmm.
like help missionary kids so that the parents could actually like do their mission work or be on support and stuff. So it was very nice because otherwise we'd all be homeschooled. And also it's
Mm-hmm.
good to have
Yeah.
community. So it's definitely like I think yeah, I was so grateful for school and the friends I made there, and like I'm telling you mission school, everybody was so nice. Like I don't even think we had anything like bullies or anything like that. Like with me growing up,
Yeah.
like I mean, you weren't best friends with everybody, but like it
Right.
was not like dramatic like in Canada
Yeah.
or the
No, not
States.
at all. Not like it is in Western culture, so not at
Uh,
all. And I think we had like some really great teachers over there. Like we were so blessed to have some of the
so
teachers we had.
grateful and learn.
Like I remember going to school like in America and like I don't ever remember like liking any of my classes. Like I don't think I
Hmm.
actually ever learned anything. But when I was over
Mm,
there, like I learned like I liked going to class, like I loved my
yeah.
classmates and like that side of things was like a really good experience. So super grateful for the teachers like dedicating their time and yeah, just serving the Lord in that way and being good teachers for us kids.
Yeah, it actually was such a blessing because when I
Hmm.
think about it, like some of us kids actually like needed more help.
Yeah.
Like I was not a brilliant smart kid, but like I felt like some of these teachers, they would take extra time out of their
Hmm.
day just to help you, and they wanted to see you succeed. So it
Hmm.
was just so great. Like I hated maths and sciences, but like I'm pretty sure I only passed those because I passed those classes because those teachers took the
Yeah.
time. They helped me understand the concept of things, and then like
Hmm.
yeah, like it was so crazy. I would say this all the time to my parents. I'm like, I hate math or I hate science, but my favorite teachers are the math teacher and the science teacher.
Yes.
Like it
Aw.
was just
Yeah.
like
So
Dr.
sweet.
Eggleton. I remember I'm like, I
Hmm.
hate math, but I love the
Yes, he was
teacher. So it was
so
just like
good.
he was
Yeah,
so
and
good.
for
Like I hadn't
geometry.
I had him in grade, I think 5 and 6.
Mm,
Yeah, and then again in high school, and I was like, oh my word, like I'm so lucky to have had
hmm.
the same teacher. Like, yeah, so
Yeah,
it was
no, some of them are
definitely,
great.
yeah. Like I just think, imagine just like some of them, like some of the teachers were like single teachers, and like I'm telling you, when you go to the mission field as a single woman, there is not much options out there. So some
Yeah,
of them
right.
like yeah, they could have probably been in the States and found a husband and like settled down, but
Hmm.
instead they're like serving the Lord and like
Yeah,
teaching missionary kids and like taking
yeah.
time out of their life and and just like serving in that way, and it's
Hmm.
amazing because it's not like, yeah, like I'm sure they all have a desire to have husbands and stuff, but like it's like the Lord came first in their ministry and like in
Hmm.
their hearts. So it was like really cool just to see like our
Yeah.
English teacher, like oh, like I don't know, I wouldn't have
Hmm.
so many things. I'm like I would not be where I'm at now,
Yeah.
educational wise.
And just like their willingness to teach like in multiple areas. So like they might
Mhm.
have one like subject of expertise, but like it didn't matter like what it was. If there was a position to fill
Exactly.
within the school, like they would just hop in. Like our English teacher was also like our PE teacher. So yeah, like it was just like super cool to see like them filling the need wherever possible, and not,
Hmm.
yeah, just being like, well, I only teach this, and so yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool to see them like
It's
serving in multiple
It's
areas.
crazy how like so many people step in because I remember like one year we didn't have a computer. We weren't gonna have a computer labs teacher or something, and like different parents or different people from the office. Like I remember like I can't remember his name, but he taught us how to code. I was like this random
Yes.
man.
Oh, who
I
was
passed
that? I
that class.
remember that.
Mr.
Was
Was it
was
like
it
Mr.
Mr. Adams?
Fensoff? No, It was like
Oh, I don't know who that
I don't
is.
know. No, it wasn't Mr. Adams. It was somebody else. Like Mr. Adams taught the
Hmm.
class, but he had like all these like guest guest parents who were like teaching us different computer stuff. Cause I got an A in that class, girl. I did not know I could
Wow.
code.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should go to school to be a coder.
No, no, no. The thing was, I just remember the assignment was like you just had to code and it had to be like successful. And I picked the most
Hmm.
simplest thing, like true or false. And then I like
Yeah.
had 10 questions, and I made it. Like everybody else was trying to be so
Wow.
complicated,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"You followed the syllabus. You did everything." And I was like, "Yeah."
That's funny. Like A
It was
plus.
so complicated.
Yeah, I do remember that, but I
Um,
don't remember the teacher. But
yeah, actually,
yeah.
this is like a plug for the school. They're desperately in need of teachers. I was seeing that posted that like I guess some years, I guess if they don't even have the teachers, the kids would be, I don't know what
Like
the kids would be
homeschooled or
doing.
something.
Homeschooled or like doing online classes. Oh yeah, our grade 12.
Yeah, we did online English.
We did online English because we didn't have an English teacher that year.
Which, to be honest, grateful. Not that we didn't have an English teacher, but grateful was online because English was my hardest subject. And I was like, what is that one website? We probably
Yeah,
shouldn't say what it is, but
oh my
Quizlet or
word.
something.
Oh
And you
yeah.
could go like
Yeah.
find the answers. Yeah, it was definitely cheated,
Girl,
but
but that whole year was just poetry. I was like, this is terrible. The
yeah, it was
entire
really
year, grade
hard.
12 was like straight up poetry. But I think I got probably my best grade that year in English.
Yeah, it was
Oh
hard
my
though. Like,
word.
ugh, English, man, my worst subject
Yeah.
still probably to this day if I went back to
No,
school.
but shout out to the teachers. Just like even though like we didn't have teachers that year, they had to like literally think ahead of time. Like, how are we gonna get these kids to still be able to do English without
Hmm.
all of them being homeschooled? So they figured out an online program that we could all do, and it was like really amazing. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, that was an interesting year, but yeah.
It was. A great job was interesting. Lots of changes, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh my word. Yeah, so with school, I know that there was just a lot of rules. I think our school had probably a lot more rules than any school I can ever remember going to. I
Hmm.
mean, I didn't go to too many schools, but like there was just a
Yeah.
lot of rules. And I think part of that had to do with the fact that like you're you're overseas and there's like a lot of different people being part of this mission or this organization, and we like everybody has different denominations they come from and different viewpoints or just like different ways that they want to raise their families, and like all of it is like obviously like that's your preference and that's how you
Mhm.
want to raise your children. And so I think that like a lot of things that we went through was just like our school was trying to respect a lot of families boundaries and a lot of trying to like, because it's like we were basically there was just a lot of rules just to respect all the different viewpoints and just kind of like make things more, I guess, not acceptable.
I
How would you
think
say it?
like yeah, like they were just trying to make like everybody happy, but like when you have that many different people from different like points of view on the Bible like working together, like I mean you can just imagine like how many rules there would be. Like each
Mm-hmm.
person's gonna think something's okay and then something's not okay. So I think like they were just trying to like encompass all of that and like not make anybody upset or offended. And
Mm-hmm.
like yeah, I can agree to a point, but like with that also comes like a lot of I don't know how you would say it. Like
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean, there's
know.
gonna be
Trying to help
people that's
me.
gonna be upset in
Hmm.
different things, and
Right.
like, and it's not like to bash anybody, but it's like,
Hmm.
um, if you as a parent are trying to install certain things in your kids and you feel like others aren't respecting that, then like, of course, you're gonna be a little bit upset or like,
Hmm.
so it's very hard, I think, like to appease everybody, and I think that's also like in America and in Canada too, like different like organizations or whatever you join, like people have different viewpoints on things, and like
Hmm.
and sometimes where it's like one rule or a certain rules that are set are like totally okay from one kid or one family to follow, and it like doesn't even affect them, or where
Hmm.
certain rules may affect other children, so and
Right.
their families. So it's very
Yeah.
hard. I actually like any mission or organization or like any business owners, like I can't even, like it's businesses too, like my own
Hmm.
work setting, it's like how to appease all, like I'm in
Hmm.
healthcare, like how to appease all these different families, and
Hmm.
like and they're wanting the best for their mom and dad, and it's like but
Yeah.
we can't like have favoritism towards certain ones and not the others, so it's like
Right.
yeah, so it's a little difficult, and like I actually like
Hmm.
yeah, I would not want to be in that position
Yeah,
of
I
making
do not
rules.
envy them at all for having to be in that leadership and deal with that many different
No,
personalities and like
that's the
viewpoints of
thing.
the Bible and Jesus and all of that. But
Yeah,
yeah, and the Bible talks about like submitting to leadership and those who are like over us. So like
exactly.
obviously we're not gonna blatantly like
Hmm.
disobey or like be
Hmm.
rebellious like on purpose, but it doesn't make it
No.
easy to like
Yeah.
to be submissive. It's not an easy thing, and especially when you don't agree, like it's even harder. But
Hmm.
yeah, and sometimes leadership's not always right. Like they may be over
Yeah.
you and in a leadership position, but it doesn't mean they're
Hmm.
always right. And like having to submit to that, especially as a child, like is a little bit difficult at times. So
For
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
let's dive into it and we can kind of like go over some of the things we're talking about.
Hmm.
Joanna, do you have like any specific examples like of what maybe some rules would have looked like in our school?
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest ones that like Sierra and I might have struggled with is like our school dress code. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I remember, well, like I'll just go briefly. Like our school dress
Mhm.
code, I remember that like Tuesdays were like chapel days. Is that what it was called, chapel or something? And
Yeah.
like because we're like a Christian school, so like we would have chapels on Tuesdays, which was really cool. Like we had worship, we had guest speakers, and then like kind of like an assembly with like the whole school and stuff, and it was like
Hmm.
really really cool and really encouraging. But like girls had to wear dresses, guys had to wear collared shirts. No rips
Hmm.
in your jeans, no nothing. Like yeah, it was just basic stuff that I feel like most schools have. I think that sometimes our biggest thing was like because of the culture we were at in Papua New Guinea, you had to be aware of how tight certain clothing clothing piece that you wore. But I think it was definitely harder on women because, like, I mean, look at all of us. We're all like different sizes, different shapes, different
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Like, one thing may be like super tight on Sierra, but like loose on me, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
vice versa.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really hard to like, yeah, to kind of like live by those rules when you feel like my friend can wear this, but I can't, or like, or I've worn
Right.
this and somehow all of a sudden it's not okay anymore. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think as girls it was like very hard, just like a little bit on the body image that like I think we struggled with, just being
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know how to say it, like just kind of like, yeah, like, am I not beautiful, or I wasn't trying to show off, but all of a sudden like everybody else feels that I was
Mm-hmm.
wearing something too skimpy, and it's like I've worn this before, like I don't understand, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so some of that kind of just really does affect, or did affect us as young girls growing up
Mm-hmm.
in that.
Yeah, I would agree with everything you just said. I think too, like where like I got more like hurt or like frustrated was like I understood like having to abide by like the culture's rules and all that, but also like our base was like a mission base, so it was like all like westernized people. So we really had very few nationals living amongst us, and if they did, like they were comfortable or like aware of like how we dressed and stuff like that. So anyways, so like yes, there was a part of like abiding by the culture's standards or rules of what was acceptable, but I feel like the school also took and ran with that as like a sin problem. Like they kind of turned it into a sin issue. Like, well, if you're dressing this way, you're causing this boy to stumble and he's looking at you inappropriately. And it kind of just morphed into this. No longer is it about the culture, but it's now about you're causing somebody else to sin and it's your fault as a woman. And so I think that's like where it kind of in my heart and mind became a little bit wrong, and that's when it started to like affect the way we thought about our bodies and like the way men viewed us as women. And you guys, when we say like jeans and a t-shirt, like these were very loose jeans and a very loose t-shirt, so it's not like we were wearing like inappropriate clothes to begin with, but if somebody in leadership there had thought that it was inappropriate, you would be sent to the office, and then you would have to wear like we were talking about Mary blouses earlier, you would have to wear like the Mary blouse of shame or like an extra large t-shirt, and then you'd have to wear that the rest of the day. And so like it was almost like shaming you for coming into school what you had on, even though like I don't think there was ever a time I would say any of us wore anything provocative or inappropriate. Never. Like, I don't.
No.
And my, like, our parents, you guys would approve our outfits before we walked out the door. Like, my parents always would say, like, yep, that's okay. Like, you're fine. And then to go to school and then be, like, sent to the office to wear this, like, massive thing the rest of the day. And, like, they're bright neon floral colors. Like, it's just embarrassing as a
Yeah.
teenager. You know, like, you're already having, like, questions about your body, like am I pretty enough or am I this or that,
Yeah.
you know, like. And so then to have that on top of it was just like, oh my gosh. And then to add another element of it's your fault, you're causing the boy to sin, he's looking at you inappropriately and it's your fault, like that
Yeah.
was like just another element that like made things like in our minds
Yeah.
like
No,
struggle
that
with.
really, yeah, because I think in some ways, I think that there was a lot of pressures put on women, on girls. I'm
Hmm.
not even sure if it was even like necessarily the culture. Like, I do know that like the culture of popular is definitely more man dominated. It's like more of a man's world type of culture. So it's like you
Hmm.
respect the man, yeah, you have to be protected by the men because other men are just like animals or whatever. So like it's
Hmm.
definitely you have to be very aware of the culture that you're in and that you live in. But like, and like of course as girls we want to be safe, and we like as Christian girls didn't want to like we didn't want to like cause our brothers in the Lord to stumble and stuff. So like it just, I think what was a little bit confusing at times, it's like your family, like Sierra would say, like her dad would approve of her outfit before she went to school, and then like she would come to school and then somebody else would be like, that's inappropriate. I would not let my daughter or my kid wear this. And it's like, of course, like we're gonna have different views on like what modesty is. And I think that's like something that was a struggle for us as girls because it's like at one point, like you're literally living under your father's rules of modesty, but somebody else's household, their modesty level could be like way higher, and you're like, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Why are you putting that on me, saying that
Right.
I'm causing your son or your kids to stumble and stuff like that? And
Yeah.
it's like, I think there was just a lot of shame, I think, that we kind of grew up like in, especially as girls, just being like, okay, like what is appropriate and what, like how is what I'm wearing wrong and stuff like that. And I think it's a hard thing, like even like today, like I honestly don't even think it was just where we grew up. I think it's also like in churches in Canada, in churches in the
Mm.
States, because everybody has different levels, I guess, of conviction of what like they feel
Yeah.
like is I don't know. It's a tough topic,
Yeah.
but like it's
Yeah,
like
it is.
yeah, like they have different levels of what they feel is like modest and what's not. And I think as women, we definitely felt like it was our responsibility to prevent our brothers in the Lord
Mm-hmm.
from stumbling or struggling
Yeah.
with like pornography or whatever the case may be. So like
Mm-hmm.
I think we put a lot of that pressure on us, like ourselves and like the society that we were in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was like a lot of hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think like I don't agree with that it's the women's fault. Like I don't think we were purposely going out there dressing inappropriately because we wanted attention from the boys. Like no, that's not at all what we were doing. Like
Yeah.
just very far from it. And um, I also think that as parents, you need to teach your sons and teach them about the Lord and like what it says about pornography and teach them to take every thought captive and pray for their hearts to be protected and their minds to be protected and then teach them
Hmm.
how to do that. When you have a thought pop into your head, like they need to learn how to take that captive and not think an appropriate thought. And I think that's only hindering like the boys that grow up on the mission field or the young men because then when they do go back home stateside or wherever they're going to go back to their home country, it's just going to be so overwhelming and shocking. Like I honestly feel kind of bad for some of the kids that or the men, like I feel like it's going to be just smack in their face everywhere they are and they're
Yeah.
not going to know how to handle it and it's probably
Yeah.
they're just yeah, I don't know what that's like for the
Especially
man
when you're
coming back,
protected
but
so much, yeah. And then all of a
because that's
sudden,
not
like,
life.
yeah, because that's not life. Because it's like you can be protected so much in this bubble, and this is all that you know. And like, and then as soon as you get into the world or the real world and stuff, or back home, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
like my organization doesn't control what everybody's wearing or like what, and like, and
And
that's something. Yeah, go ahead.
sorry. Well, I just
No.
was also going to make another point. Like, for me, in my mind, I was like, we were almost brainwashed into thinking that, like, men are thinking inappropriate thoughts about women at all times, and that's all they think about. And so, like, for me, like, dating and, like, now being married, like, I would say it still affects me on the way I think to this day to, like, have that mindset. And I think I've come like a long way with it. I'm a lot better now. And like, I think the
Yeah.
Lord's healed my heart. And I've just researched for my own in the Bible what God says about modesty and what the man's responsibility is in that. And like, yeah, I do not agree with the way we were taught growing up. But that's not saying that I have anger in my heart towards any of those people in leadership,
Yeah.
or that I think badly of them or anything like that. I think they were just there doing their job and doing what they were told to do. And so, yeah, like
Yeah.
we're so grateful for our teachers, but like there are just elements, no matter where you go, where you grow up, there's going to be some
Mm.
things that you take
I,
with you, and that's just being
yeah.
human.
I just want to clarify too that like if you are like, let's say the Lord has placed it in your heart that you're like, man, I have really been dressing it modestly. I just really want to protect my brothers in Christ and like help them in their thought process and stuff like that. And I just want to say that like this podcast is not being like you need to just accept everything. That's not the case, because
Right.
I think that like if the Lord's convicted you in a certain way, you need to walk in obedience to that conviction that the Lord has placed on your heart. And so I think that's like a thing that we did struggle with, because like some people were convicted that like so strongly in their heart that like dressing this way was so bad and hurtful or harmful to the young men and like the men in Christ and stuff. So like I just want to say that like it's not our intention to be like, if God convicted you in that way, it's totally okay. But also have grace for other people too, that like if God hasn't placed that conviction on their hearts, and like God is just working in us in different ways. Like sometimes you could just be like, man, this week God is working on my heart and I'm struggling in like the area of being thankful. And then other people just like they don't like they're not convicted in that way. Let's say, like like I'm struggling with like, oh, I need to just be positive and everything, and then I can't just go to Sierra and just be like, hey, I think you've just been so negative and like you're sitting in this area, you need to, because like I think that like if God hasn't placed that conviction in her heart, I feel like it's not like I can live in what God had, the truth or what God has revealed to me, but I don't think I should be placing that, my own conviction and where I am in my walk with God, on Sierra or
Right.
whoever. And I think that,
Right.
like, I just want to encourage you in that. Like, we're not saying that because we're talking about this specific topic, that we're trying to be like, yeah, you all should view things like us. Like, it doesn't matter about
Right.
modesty. No, that's not the case. Like, I value modesty. Like, I definitely value myself. I know how I want to dress and what I want to portray. But also,
And if
like, I
I'm
want,
wearing something like I feel like since we have the Holy Spirit within us, like I'm not saying I'm never convicted on like what I wear.
yeah.
Like I know if I put something on, like I'm like, okay, like this is probably a little much, then I probably shouldn't be wearing it. And that's my own conviction. Like if I feel like this is gonna make my husband uncomfortable, like it's something that I'm convicted on that I shouldn't be wearing. I mean, obviously it's different when you're in high school because you don't have a
Yeah.
husband or spouse. But
Yeah. Also, it's okay as women, I think, to be like, man, God, this is how God made me. I am beautiful. Because I think that's one thing I struggled with, and I'm pretty sure you did too, Sierra. I'm not sure, but like I struggled a lot with like a lot of body shame, thinking that like I wasn't beautiful, and like, and also like for me, I had like different society thing where it's like I am a black woman, which is like not the norm in the country that I live in. So I'm like, oh, okay, as a black woman, I have all these features that are just different than everybody around me. So I do think that like in some aspect of things, I struggled a lot with like a lot of body image and like self confidence. And now that like I feel like I've gotten older, I've like found my style. I've found like what I feel like is I think it's modest.
like I feel like there really weren't a lot of other roles I would say that no one I had that I personally struggled with. It was mainly just like modesty, dress code, and like um, I feel like they put so much emphasis on that that it almost became like that's all a woman is worth is modesty and they just there wasn't any like discipleship in like your walk with the Lord or like how like just like there wasn't any other ways of growing or like this is what a woman should look like, a godly woman should look like, or as far as like your spirit, like there was no like um growing in that. It was just nope, like if you dress this way it's shameful, if you do this a man's thinking inappropriately about you, and like you're just worthless if that happens. And I don't know, like that's just like kind of what it wrapped up to be in my head. And so like Jana was saying, like we kind of got like negative body images so like of ourselves, and I've always been a little bit curvier. So like I could be wearing the baggiest pair of jeans and it would just fit differently, it would hang differently on me than it would maybe one of my other friends who's like a toothpick. They could wear like a baggy pair of jeans and be just fine and not get sent home. But I would be wearing baggy
Mm-hmm.
jeans. And it does not matter how big those jeans are, it's going to show my butt. Somehow it's going to curve
Mm-hmm.
around it and I would get sent home for that, for having a butt in my eyes, in my mind, just because I was curvier. I would get sent home. And like, what, am I worthless because of that? Like, it's not fair that my other
Mm-hmm.
friend who isn't built the same way as me is like just fine and that. So yeah, that just like Joanna was saying, yeah, kind of developed like negative body images in our minds. And then um yeah, like I remember like coming home and being like trying on a pair of jeans, and asking my husband like, hey, like, are these too tight? Like, are they unflattering on me? And he was like, unflattering? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, they're not too tight. And they're like, looking back now, like they were not tight at all because I had just gotten back from the mission field, you know. And he was like, no, like they're fine. And like just to hear that reassurance from my husband, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm fine. Like these aren't unflattering on me. They don't make me look bad, or I don't know. And like I know if
Mm-hmm.
my husband's not comfortable with something I'm wearing, he's gonna tell me. So in my head, I had thought that that was so bad what I was wearing, and he was like, "No,
Mm-hmm.
like you just need to chill. Like you're fine." So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just have a question for you. I guess this is for both of us. Like, what would you say to your younger self? Yeah, like going through those feelings of like shame and like struggling with body image. Like now that you've gone through all that.
I would say to my younger self, that's a good question, Joanna. I would say that I need to submit to leadership. I wish that I wasn't as resistant as I was, even though like I really struggled, like super difficult. It was really hard for me. Um, but I wish I wouldn't have like let someone else's standards of what modesty looked like affect me, and I wish that like I would have like gone and done research in the Bible and found out for myself who Jesus says I am and what my worth is in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, I don't know, it's probably a couple episodes ago, but like my walk with the Lord really didn't start until like my senior year. And so like now like I know who Jesus says I am. I know what my worth is. I know when I'm being convicted of something I'm wearing. And it would be a lot easier for me today to submit to leadership that says
Mm-hmm.
something different. And so like my encouragement is if there's anyone in a situation where they are stuck in that to yeah, just read about what God says about you and what Jesus says and who you are to him. And that human rules, like humans' standards and rules are not the same as like what God's are, and you are worth
Mm-hmm.
so much more than just your image.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's and I hate to make this comparison, but I almost feel like it was kind of like when Jesus talks about the Pharisees in the Bible, you know, how the Pharisees were so focused on the rules that they were missing the whole point. They were not in their hearts like actually knowing like what Jesus was saying. All they cared about was the outward appearance and the
The
rules.
rules, yeah.
And so like I feel like that is kind of a good comparison to like our situation. It was just so much about the rules that it wasn't like really like what Jesus's true point or like the meaning behind it was. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
yeah. What about you, Joanna? What would you say to your younger self?
I would definitely would have probably encouraged my younger self to have more love for myself. Like, um, I think I struggled quite a bit, in the area. Like, I think like you, like, yeah, I was a curvier girl, and so like I definitely thought, like, my genetics of who I am and like how I'm made.
Hmm.
Like, I just thought like I really had a lot of I guess not hatred, like body image issues, especially in college and like also like out of college. So yeah, just like kind of like you are beautiful, just the way God made you. It's very simple, but like, and that like you are
Yeah.
valuable and like, and also just the fact that like your worth is not tied to making making a
Hard, like that.
man happy, or making a man
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So, or like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's between you and God and stuff. So
Yeah.
I would definitely
hmm
say that.
And like, yeah, like I mean, who does Jesus say you are? Like, you are made in his
Yeah,
image. You're made in the image
yeah.
of Christ, and we're here to like make disciples and tell people about Jesus. And there's just so much more to your relationship with him than the way you dress. Like, I think if you truly have like a relationship with the Lord, you're not gonna want to dress provocatively, or make your brother in Christ stumble. Like, those aren't gonna be your mission or your goal, you know? Like, it's so much different than that. Like,
Yeah.
and so, yeah, just, yeah, I don't know.
No, I agree with that. Yeah. So, like, I was just gonna say, like, how did your healing process? Was there certain things that you did, or like, that assured you once you like left school or left that community, that like kind of like
Yeah.
helped you in your healing process?
So, um, that's a good question as well. I would say, like, just reading the Bible and, like I said earlier, finding out, like, who Jesus really says I am and, like, my worth to him, but also, like, I had such a negative image of myself that, like, I immediately just started working out as much as I could when I got back to the States, and, like, I just, like, was trying not to eat bad, and I was like, I just gotta get a smaller butt. Like, it's just too big, you know? And so that, like, negatively affected me. But um, within, like, the working out aspect, like, I also saw that, like, I think like something positive in our culture today is like it's no longer focused on like you have to be as skinny as you possibly can. Like, I feel like our culture is starting to morph more into like being your healthiest version of yourself and like being the strongest version of yourself. So I really fell in love with like weightlifting, and like from then on I've been trying to grow like the biggest butt I could have, you know? Like, I no longer see this like, okay, I need to be skinny, I need to be this certain way so I can fit into these clothes. Like, I'm happy with the way God made me, and I am imperfect, and I know I have imperfections. Nobody's perfect, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, just like loving yourself for who God made you and trying to be the healthiest version of yourself.
Do you think
And
that having Anthony, like a male's perspective, like your husband's perspective, just like pouring into
yeah,
you and like giving you that confidence that you need, like has that been a part of the healing process for you?
yeah, absolutely. I think I don't know about healing, but like maybe giving me more confidence. I think like I kind of did that journey on my own, like before I had met him. But then I think after meeting him, like as far as like my clothing goes, like I think that gave me more confidence in
Yeah.
knowing like I'm not wearing something inappropriate. If he's not looking
Yeah.
at me like thinking like, why are you walking out of the house like that, then like other people shouldn't be looking at me that way unless they're like, I don't know, weird, but yeah. So like, and if my husband's like, I don't know, that's a little, I don't know if you should be wearing that, like, then that gives me a better range because he's a dude. Like, he's gonna know like what I'm wearing is like
Yeah.
too much or not.
Exactly.
So, and I'm not saying I don't ever push the limit. Like, if I find an outfit that's really cute, I'm like, I don't know, it was pretty cute. But if it's
Yeah.
convicting him, then like obviously I am gonna
Right.
listen to my husband and not. I don't want that to be something that convicts him either. So, yeah.
Right.
What about you? What's been healing for you?
I think for me has been like having like a support of like girlfriends that like grew up in the Canadian culture, because like for them they didn't have that shame put on them necessarily of how they grew
Yeah.
up, and so they're very like my hype women, and they're like, yeah, girl, you look good, this is great, like you're gorgeous. So it's been like
Yeah.
really nice just to have just being surrounded by girls that are just like very positive in the way that like, oh, like no, like that looks so good on
Yeah.
you, and like,
Yeah.
like because I think just having other women to just validate that you are beautiful too, that's actually really meaningful for me. Obviously I don't have the husband aspect of things,
Yeah.
like, and I am like also am aware of like yeah, I'm trying to be aware of like the male perspective. Like, yeah, like when I go to young adults, like I want to like, like not bring attention to me, but I also want to dress very like this is me, this is for my body type, and like, I don't need to be wearing a curtain, like
Yeah,
stuff like that. So like,
exactly.
there's been like I need to like I'm still figuring things out, and there's like obviously some days where I like struggle a lot with body image because I'm like I do not
Hmm.
fit into size fours, like like I just I'm a bigger girl,
Hmm.
but like yeah, but I'm very like blessed with the friends that I
Yeah.
do have, and that my girls are very much if I go shopping and then I take a picture and send them, they're like that looks so good on you, or they're like maybe this
Mm,
color, or like it's like really
that's so
nice to
sweet.
feel like
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been
Yeah.
healing. I think women positivity. And like I've
Hmm.
made a point of this too when I'm like on the street and I see somebody who dressed really cute and like wearing a really beautiful outfit. I don't know. But I have actually like stopped people on their train. I'm like, hey, you're
Mm.
so pretty. Like that dress looks so
Oh,
good on
yeah.
you. Like I'm trying to like get out of my comfort zone because I know
Hmm.
it's so meaningful for me when I get comments like, oh,
Yeah.
your hair looks
Hmm.
so great, or like
It
you're
makes your
so
day.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes your day.
Hmm.
So I just think a lot as
Yeah.
women, like just validating each other and like making each other feel that we are valued and stuff. I think
Yeah.
that's very
It's so
important.
sweet.
That's been very
Hmm.
healing for me. And obviously
Yeah.
also scripture and like what God says
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah.
And
There's a verse that's coming to my mind, but I'm not gonna be able to remember where it's at. I think it's in Luke. I don't know. It's the one where like Jesus is talking, and he's saying like not to adorn yourselves with like outward things like jewelry and all this stuff, but that the
yeah,
woman's beauty comes from within her heart. But like going back to like the school and stuff, like I feel like they would take that verse and be like, "Oh no, you're not supposed to wear jewelry. You're not supposed to wear this. You can't do this. You can't do that."
mm,
And only
yeah,
focus on the rules aspect. But I think
right,
what Jesus is actually getting at is like your true beauty comes from within you, and like with Jesus
hmm
being within you, and that's going to shine out, and that's what people are going to see as beautiful. He's not saying
right,
like this, and that you cannot do. He's just saying like,
yeah.
yeah, like your true inward beauty is going to radiate more than your outward appearance, and that's going to be Jesus shining through you.
Yeah, that's really I really like that verse, Sarah. Like I can't remember where it's found either.
I know I think it's in Luke because I just was reading it the other day,
Oh,
but I
okay,
don't know.
yeah. So I have Proverbs 31:25, and it says, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come." I think that this is just a reminder for women that we are not defined by our literal clothing or, but what God has given us, which is strength and dignity and joy. And I think that that's such an encouraging verse, and like something we can focus on. Yeah, I also have like Psalms 139:14. It says, I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. Yeah, just as women, we are fearfully and wonderfully made. And then
Hmm.
for us to get in our head that we're not, it's like, oh no, God made you
Hmm.
fearfully and wonderfully.
Yeah.
So we are created with beauty and grace, and
Hmm.
like yeah, and I think that's like very encouraging to know that like God made us and that's the way he made us. Like we don't need to be ashamed of certain parts of our bodies or certain parts of who we are. So yeah.
Yeah, Joanna, all those verses you read are super encouraging.
So like this has just been a really great topic, and like I just wanna leave you girls with just some encouragement. So like to those of us girls, or those of you girls who've been like struggling with your body image or feeling like your body is dangerous, to the men around you, I just want to encourage you and say that God sees you, and God sees the whole story, sees your story, and you're made in His image, and your value is found in Him and not those around you. And yeah, and it doesn't matter what covers your skin or what, like, it's all about what God ultimately thinks about you, and the fact that you're made in His image, you are valuable. And I just want to encourage you guys, and just that, yeah, no matter all those hardships, those different things that you go through with people trying to shame you, just know that you're valuable. So, yeah, and a little bit of encouragement. We thank you so much for just joining us today. And this, like, I know it's kind of long and like we were talking a lot about different things, but like,
We were.
we just hope that this was an encouragement topic. And we're not at all, disclaimer, not trying to like bash anybody, but this is something as women who grew up as TCKs, how we yeah, how we struggled. And we just also want to say we full-heartedly love the culture we grew up in, and we love the people.
Thanks, guys, so much for joining us today. If you guys ever have any questions or need to just reach out and talk to somebody who maybe understands a little bit about what you're going through, you can reach us or email us at thecolorofhomepodcast@gmail.com. We're on all social medias, so give us a follow, subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss another episode. We release episodes every Wednesday. So, yeah, look forward to next week's, and we'll see you next time.